Up the three. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! 5 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah. We packing somebody up tonight. Hey. Come on in, take your shoes off before we close the door. Few rules, heat pack in the air, we about to blow. This the basement, ain't nobody safe, you already know. Grab a seat and kick your feet before you get too comfortable. You want the X's and the O's, the Trey, yes and no. Friends and the foes, the Butlers and the Heroes. You can feel it in your soul, but when the ring is the goal. But if somebody need to go, we be sure to let you know. Going hard for my dogs is an everyday thing. Like Jimmy down the lane of 13 off the screen. Whole squad keep it tucked like number 17. Bring your takes and your memes, going hard for the team. Going down in the basement. It's going down in the basement. Get your takes off. Get your takes off. Going down in the basement.
Listen, man, screw what I got to say. I'm joined by Alex Sheltman. He's below us here. Alex, screw what you got to say. I want to get right to our special guest who y'all see in the top left corner up here. Somebody that I am very excited to talk to, and I've had the pleasure of speaking with for the last 5 minutes or so backstage here. Very, very entertaining man. Like his brother, we got Mr. Royal's brother. How you doing today, bro?
We lost.
To give some background, Royal's brother is a die-hard Chicago Bulls fan, yes, and sir. I just met the man. But just from speaking with him for no more than within the first 5 seconds, I could tell that he is a diehard Bulls fan because he is legitimately heartbroken after this game. So walk us through what you're feeling, man.
There's no way that watching your team lose the other night and us have a good victory against Toronto, who I feel like is better than you, us, the other playing team, Atlanta, and then thank you, Ant.
I'm with you. Hey.
And then we lose to the fucking Miami Heat. We lose to the Heat. I think we beat y'all 2 out of 3 times we played y'all this year.
3-0.
And we lose. Fuck the Heat. That's it. Oh, FAMU, by the way.
Hey, shout out the Rattlers, man. Listen, well, that last sentence you said, fuck the Heat, that's certainly something a lot of Heat fans are also feeling right now, so we could bond over that. Yes, but sir. I do want to ask you, a lot of Heat fans, including myself, sir. I will say, I'm happy that we won this game because I really got into it at the end of the game, even though I know impending doom is coming versus the Bucks. But that is the reason a lot of Heat fans that wanted to lose today. Also, we get the much higher draft pick. Is that not something you cared about at all going into this game?
For your team or my team?
Well, for the Bulls, admit y'all will get smoked by the Bucks. Yes.
Listen. I think it would have been a gentleman's sweep. You know,
okay.
Like we would get one because I think in game 4, Mike Budenholzer would be like, okay, we're gonna rest them tonight and let them get a win, and then we'll go from there. Because we want to win it on our home court. But for the Miami Heat, fuck the Heat. Can you feel the heat in your soul? No.
I feel it.
The shit in your soul? No. Fuck your Heat. But y'all had to be us. And we just had a fucking great performance the other day. So fuck the Heat. Roy, I'm sorry for cussing so much, but fuck the Heat. And fuck the Heat.
I'm sure if Royal was here, he would say you do not need to apologize for the cussing. But two, why are you so salty about the Heat, man? Is this still back to the Big 3 days when they was busting y'all ass? Is that where this all started?
Derrick Rose is the greatest non-champion of all time. He is. And I don't believe in bought championships. So, we'll stay there. And we'll talk about it later.
I think you still salty that Rex.
Listen.
The 80s or the 90s.
Derrick Rose is my guy. So, yeah, fuck the Heat.
Alex, do you share that sentiment?
No.
Yeah, I share that sentiment, actually. Fuck the Heat. I don't know what the fuck this team is doing, man. I have not been this mad at this front office and this team since they didn't pay Dwayne Wade. And this is probably the second most pissed I've ever been to be a Heat fan. there's no gain from this. Like there's no gain. Like anyone that actually thinks that we're going to put up a competitive series versus the Bucks is smoking some of the most pristine crack cocaine, because quite frankly, this is going to be like, did you see the offense tonight? It was pitiful. They're turning the ball over left and right. They are stepping on the line, fumbling the ball. It was just disgusting display of offense as usual from the Heat. They have had their offense in the mud the whole season. And you are going to now go against the best team in the league, not the best team in the East, the best team in the league.
Aren't they defensively?
The Bucks?
Yeah. Or close.
They are at least top 5. I know that for sure. So they're a tough defensive team for sure. But there is nothing to gain from this. You are going to get smacked by the Bucks in 4 or 5 games if you want to be nice and say the Heat will get 1. I don't think they will. I think they'll get spanked out in 4. And then ultimately you just wasted 6 draft spots. That's all you did. The Heat would have been the 14th pick in the draft, a 2.6% chance to jump into the top 4. And that is gone. You are now the 20th pick in the draft. Congratulations. If you want to use that as a trade chip in the offseason, you have a worse draft pick now. If you want to draft a player, you have a worse player that you're picking from. So, good job. You won the playing game.
What's your thoughts on this comment, Alex?
He's lying to himself.
He in what?
He did 6.
6 what? 6
Will,
what?
You're god awful ugly for that comment. Shout out to my boy Will. Listen, before we get into this game a little bit, I do want to shout out our guy Carlos Lopez for the $5 dono, who said, I wanted the 14th pick, but gentlemen, let's give it up one time for Max, MF, and Strus. The Strus is loose. And I do want to give a round of applause from my guy. Y'all know what I call him. It's on the Twitter. You can scroll back and look at the tweet I posted earlier today. That is part of the reason I got excited about the game, because Strus is my guy, and he's had a god-awful season. So to see him bounce back a little bit, it felt good for me. I'm not going to lie. Before we get into the game, though, I do want to ask each of y'all what you was expecting coming into the game today. Royal's brother, I know you was feeling a little confident, but how exactly confident were you, like, right up to tip-off?
And just so y'all know, Royal is, like, me and Royal are the only true blood brothers. Like, that's my brother. Like, we have the same mom and same dad. I've been a Bulls fan since 1992. I honestly thought after coming from the Toronto game and seeing you guys against the Atlanta Hawks, I honestly believe like the Heat have no offense. None.
You are correct.
Sheltman, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Probably 30th in 3-point shooting or 28th, something like that.
They're 30th in 3-point shooting. I think they're 28th overall as an offense.
Overall, correct. Like, and so like when I come on the stream, don't think I'm just coming with bullshit. I know my game. Like, I was a basketball player. My brother's not a basketball player, he's a football player. I'm a basketball player. I thought honestly, like, you guys could not drudge up enough offense at all. In a 102-91 game, I did not think y'all could drudge up enough offense to beat us, even if we had little offense, and I don't know who the hell stopped fucking, never mind, but we'll talk about him later, Zach LaVine, but I don't know who the fuck stopped Zach LaVine tonight to the point that the Miami Heat scored 102 points, and that was enough. You guys can't fucking score at all. Like, literally can't score. And tonight, 102 points was enough. It was enough. Sheltman, it was enough.
No, you're right, bro. Like, we've been continually around that 105, 106 mark to get our wins. And 102 is enough for this team. If they have the defense rotating well and turning the ball over, they can win those games where they're only scoring 102. The problem is that's not going to happen versus the Bucks.
And I want you to stay on that topic. Don't leave it. But 102 points.
Well, would you look at the Miami Heat and you say that we got someone who's supposed to be a go-to scorer, and starting next year, his contract is kicking in to be a go-to scorer? That would be one Tyler Herro, who finished with a total of 12 points today on 5 of 12 shooting. So when I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this guy, Tyler Herro, trying to get any space for a shot whatsoever, and I'm looking at the guys that's guarding him, and as Royal says, any athletic black dude that's guarding him, he will struggle. And that was quite literally 1,000% the case tonight. Whether Tyler was trying to cross over on Zach LaVine, he was getting the ball stolen from behind. Whether he was trying to spin in the paint, he had 3 people collapse on him and has no handle, no athleticism, no wingspan to go anywhere. He is a high-level role player. There's a reason I wrote the song. I said, what do you mean, whoa? Are you going to push back on that?
Your song is good. Your song is good.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, man. You don't like a lot of stuff I do, just like your brother. So I do appreciate that, man.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But it's games like tonight that make it more clear than ever that he is a high-level role player. A star player can get their shot whenever they want, particularly in the biggest games when it matters most. And we saw easily biggest game of the season tonight for Tyler Herro against the Chicago Bulls team, who's #1 in defense since the All-Star break. And what did he have to show for it?
Nothing.
12 points. 12 points.
Absolutely.
That's the sign to me of a high-level role player. He's not a #1. He's not a #2. He's probably not even a #3 on a championship team unless you got like a Giannis and a Dame next to him.
What did Tyler average this year? 20.3 or something like that?
He was over 20. Yep. When it didn't matter.
Huh?
When it didn't matter. When it's the regular season.
Okay. But even when Chris Bosh was on y'all team, he averaged 18 and y'all won a championship. So saying points don't matter is a facade. It is, but what? Go ahead.
That is so disrespectful of you to come on here and compare Tyler Herro to the legend Chris Bosh. That is a cardinal sin in this Heat community.
Dennis Rodman averaged 3.8 points for the Bulls at one point. Thank you.
Yes. But what you're missing, Tyler Herro is a scorer. Chris Bosh played defense. He rebounded. And he was very, very efficient. Not some shot-chucking high-level role player like that. Are you a Tyler Herro stan? Is that what I'm getting out of this?
What I'm saying is Tyler Herro gives y'all 20 points a game, right?
Sure.
Name one other person on your team that can give you that. Like, name another person on your team that can give you 10 points a game. And I know 3 other ones, but not real shit. Like, not real shit. Like, not real 10 points a game. I'll give you 20 here because we playing a sorry team, and I'll give you 6 here when we going against the Bucks. Tyler Herro gives you 20 points a game. That's hard to do in the NBA.
Not nowadays, it isn't.
No, it's not.
I think there were 87 people that averaged 20 points a game this year. In 1999, there was 14.
14 of them, probably.
The game has changed, I think, pretty drastically to the point where 20 isn't necessarily 20 anymore.
The three-point ball has changed everything about the game. But Tyler Herro gives you something that Victor doesn't give you, that Max doesn't give you, that what's number 55 name?
Duncan.
The worst.
Who cares?
It don't matter. Yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, who cares? Well, who cares what his name
is? It's irrelevant.
$18 million, right?
5 years, 90. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. 5 years, 90. Worst contract in the league.
No, it's not.
But you realize you saying Tyler Herro is giving you something that 3 other bums aren't giving you. That's like saying Tyler Herro got a pull-up jumper and I don't. I mean, I do. But that'd be like if I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Grandmas. My brother told me this shit. You play against grandmas. Fuck those.
Listen, man, I'm not going to finish that sentence I was just about to say. You made a face, though, when I said worst contract in the league. Who do you think has the worst contract then?
Duncan Robinson.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Hey, when you talking DNPs, it's hard to beat that.
No, it's not the DNPs. Like, I heard something. Erik Spoelstra, he has something to do with that contract also.
100%. 100%.
So the first contract in the NBA is Erik Spoelstra's. Yep.
I like you, Royals, bro. You know ball. You got to sit down with Royal and tell him a thing or two, man. You, sir.
Like, Royal going to be on later.
You know ball. Alex, before we get to your thoughts or your predictions, how you felt going into this game, we got a ton of donos here I want to get to. First, we got our guy, or assuming guy, could be a girl. Shout out to they, Poetic Lifestyle, who said, y'all know Max ain't consistent. And thank God he proved that to us before he got a big deal from us, because I would have hated to have another Duncans on this team. So that was one positive of that. Shout out to this bum, Adam Barai, who said, "What's up, Royals brother? Remember me? Do you remember this guy? I don't know who he is."
Listen, he came to my wedding. I got married last year. Like, hell yeah.
Well, looks like Ant just
Troutman
popped out somewhere. I have no idea where he went, but
who produced?
Looks like he's coming back right now.
Okay.
We'll go next, Dono, while Ant resets here. I think
what
it
happened?
was. I don't know what happened. It looks like it's from King Mike B, $5.
Did you get Dan?
What? Oh, did I get Dan? I might have missed Dan.
I got.
Yeah,
I'm back.
you go,
Okay.
Dan.
Dan. Shout out to Dan the film
Roy's
Jack.
brother.
Yes, sir. Consistency is key. He said, "Hey, just got in. I saw we won. Well, this sucks. I like that, Royals brother. You know the drill." He said, "At least the Miami Hurricane scrimmage was fun." I was keeping up on Twitter just because I do follow them, but I got to be honest, they are in show me mode right now because I currently think Mario Cristobal is a bum, and Tyler Van Dyke did not look so hot either ending the last season. But if they could come out strong, I will be excited to see them.
Who, the Hurricanes?
Yes, yeah. You watch some college football?
I'm a Gators fan.
Oh God. So what you think about Anthony Richardson? No way he's a good pro, right?
Yeah, listen, he'll be a bust in the first round, but he's going. Go ahead.
Listen, y'all have had more success recently than my team, so who am I to talk shit about the Gators?
On our donos. Roy's brother.
We got King Mike B, who said, "What makes me upset is that Strus does this in the last game of the play-in, but won't put up close to these numbers against the Bucks." I could see why that'd make you frustrated, but again, that's why he's not a star. That's why he's not a great role player. That's why he is just another guy, perhaps average, because he can do this against teams that aren't as good, and against the Bucks that have elite perimeter and interior defense, he's going to struggle. But that's why he's not going to get a big deal this offseason, and that's why he's Max Strus, quite frankly. And somebody with a $2 dono said, "Strus guarding Lopez or Giannis at the power forward." This is the first thought that crossed my mind as soon as the buzzer sounded. All y'all Heat fans, the very few of you that wish you won or that wanted to win this game, I think you're going to regret that shortly after tip-off of game 1 versus the Bucks. Alex, coming into this game, I know we talked a little bit after the last game. A lot of us said the Heat would manage to do anything that pisses us off, which would probably win this game. So did you expect them to win this game, or did you just kind of realize how bad a team they are and thought the Bulls would kill us on the inside?
Nope. I knew exactly what they were going to do, and they were going to win this game. As soon as the majority on Twitter flipped to a stance of let's end the season, let's get the better draft pick after being firmly against throwing in the towel the whole season, that's when I knew that the Miami Heat were going to win this game. I think Royal summed it up pretty succinctly at the end of last stream as well. He said the same thing. They exist this season solely to piss off the fan base. That's it. That is the purpose of the 2023 Miami Heat, is to piss off this fan base. They don't care about winning. They don't even like each other. They show up some games. They don't show up other games. They don't exist to try to win. They exist to try to piss us off. And ultimately, that's what happened. I think the majority going into this game of Heat fans, there was still a vocal slim percentage of people that wanted to win, but the majority of people going into this game, I think, were firmly on let's get that 14th pick and let's get rid of this fucking trash season because it's been a headache the whole way through. It's been tiring. We're over it, and they couldn't even do that right. They couldn't even lose correctly. They had to go out there, gut it out, show the Heat culture, the guts, play with pride. And at the end of the day, like you said, Max Strus is now going to be matching up against Giannis. Drew Holiday is going to be clamping Tyler Herro. Some of this.
You're getting too much into the predictions, Alex. I want to know how you felt coming into this game.
Well, I'll pause there. We'll finish that thought up in a little bit, I guess.
Some of these comments confusing me. Somebody here is calling me out for being a Karl Anthony Towns. I'm sorry if you perceive it that way, because if you think I'm pulling the Towns, I'm not. And also Legacy Venom, who said, "Am I the only one who finds Ant mad annoying?" The answer would be no. There's about 12 people in the network who feel the same exact way as you do, brother.
And 10,000 people on Twitter.
I'm not even
a lot more than 10K, including the guy sitting to my left right now, Royal's brother. Go ahead.
I tell my brother all the time, get this boy off the network. Like, if you want to have this fucking stream and all that kind of shit, get Ant off of it. But Ant, since meeting you, I like you.
I appreciate that, man. And obviously, listen, man, when y'all comparing me to Royal's a legend, man. I'm not afraid to talk up on Royal. I mean, it's the end of a long season. The guy's been here for 90% of an 82 game season. It's tough, man. Royal's a legend for the reason. So I just hope I'm doing a good enough job filling in his footsteps. But either way, I still appreciate y'all for tuning in. Even though we don't got the original cast here, we do appreciate y'all tuning in. So Royal's brother. As the game's going on, of course, Miami got off to a hot start. Chicago fought all the way back and had all the momentum entering the fourth. How are you feeling as the game was progressing? At any point, did you feel like the Heat were actually going to come back once Chicago went on that run?
Nope. I didn't think. The one thing I know about basketball is coaching matters. Coaching, not culture. Coaching matters. Erik Spoelstra is the best coach in the National Basketball Association. People talk all shit about Ty Lue and all that kind of shit. Fuck that. That guy sitting in the number one seat in Miami, the best coach. And yes, your team has tuned him out the entire season. But when this motherfucker has to go and get one game to save his life, save his job or whatever, I said in myself, this motherfucker gonna coach them to a win. And guess what he did? Coach them to a win. Like, there's nothing we could do. Like, you seen Zach LaVine look like fucking, what's the guy from Thor? Or not Thor, but Thanos the other night. He looked like Thanos the other night. Okay. He looked like fucking dead. My bad to say it like this here. But he looked like dead Black Panther. Not the live Black Panther, and I love Chadwick Boseman, but he looked like that shit tonight. And I knew it was gonna be that way, but coaching matters in the NBA. If I'm being honest, like,
not a fan of Billy Donovan,
huh?
Not a fan of Billy Donovan.
Absolutely, I love that guy.
Because he's a UF guy. So
you're talking about Billy Donovan versus Erik Spoelstra. So I thought we would win off of sheer talent, because Zach LaVine and my guys, like, Vucevic, who I always feel like kills Bam Adebayo, but I just felt like as the game got into the third and fourth quarter, Erik Spoelstra coached circles around my guy. Honestly.
Well, Spoelstra is certainly having a bad season. I'm not going to say he was bad tonight. I mean, he kind of kept what was working out there. But if Strus doesn't go absolutely nuclear, the Heat lose this game. And I'm not sure there's much more Spo could have did. And although he's having a bad year, it's kind of the roster construction. So, I mean, how much, how good can you do when you're given a crap team to work with?
Before you go, Sheltman, I remember it was a year we had to go to the playoffs. And it was the Heat and the Bulls. I think probably 2017, something like that, after D-Wade left. And you guys had Hassan Whiteside.
That's my guy.
Deion Waiters. You guys had Josh.
James Johnson, Tyler Johnson.
Listen, you guys went 30-11 with a trash-ass squad.
2017.
Trash-ass squad in the second half. So coaching matters in the NBA. And I think the real shit about everything is people don't understand how good of a coach you guys have. That's why y'all gonna let him go. He's coming to Chicago or Portland, but he's coming.
Well, I will say I like to hear the praise on Spo because I'm one of those guys that I will never say a negative thing about Spoelstra as far as get him off my team because what a lot of fans don't realize about coaches is there's only so many good ones. You're not going to win every single year. There's 30 teams vying for the title, and just because you don't win for 5-10 years in a row doesn't mean you should let a guy go. I know my dad always told me stories about Don Shula. The Dolphins struggled a lot towards the end of his tenure. They wanted to let him go because Jimmy Johnson was out there. They lost Don Shula, and it was never the same. And he always tells me that's a story to never take a good coach for granted because I see right now the Patriots, they don't make the playoffs for 1-2 years in a row. They want to let go of Bill Belichick. That's just idiotic to me. That's disgraceful to a guy that took you to 7 Super Bowl wins. There's not a lot of good coaches out there. And just because you don't win for a few years in a row doesn't mean you should let them go. And although I don't think Spoelstra's having a good year, I want him on this team until the day that he retires. Because he, like you said, he's one of the best. That's so I like to hear that. Once again, ball Royals, brother. I like to hear it.
As a Bulls fan, like, listen, I love Billy Donovan, but the best coach in the NBA right now, hey, easy.
Shout out to somebody for the $2 dono who said, Bam is back to Bambi. He made one shot. I would really hope if he lost this game, this was the last time Bam Adebayo ever put on a Miami Heat jersey. We can get into him a little bit later, though. Maybe Alex will transition us into this a little bit because Alex, as a guy who obviously wanted to lose this game, I bet you were feeling pretty good as that started that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it felt pretty good the whole way through. I got a little annoyed when they came out to, I think it was like a 12-point lead or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then the Bulls started, finding their rhythm. Caruso hit some big threes. And, me cheering on the Bulls in the group chats was going on, of course. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I really wanted them to lose this game. I've made it pretty clear. I've been on my Twitter very clear that I wanted that 14th overall pick because I genuinely believe if you are going to make a move this offseason for a star, then a 14th overall lottery pick becomes way more appealing to a team than an 18, 19, or 20th pick, whichever one they end up with.
Yes, Alex, I was going to ask you that, but I want you to, before you move on, I want you to expand on that because if the Heat were going to get a star, they still, whether it's the pick is 14 or 20, they still don't have the assets to get a star unless they demand to come to Miami. So if that's the case, let's say Dame, for example, demands Miami. Does it really matter if you're 14 or 20?
Yes, I think there's a certain level of shitty deal that the Blazers would not accept. I think they may be willing to do right by Dame in certain circumstances, but they're also trying to rebuild their franchise at the same time. So I don't think they would go absolutely off the rails stupid with, that trade if it happens. Ultimately, we don't have the assets to get Dame. Even if Dame says only Miami, we still don't have the assets to get Dame. It's going to take only Miami from Dame, and it's going to take the Portland Trailblazers feeling like they need to pay back the guy that, has been the best player in their franchise's history to this point. I think he's surpassed some of the other all-time Blazer greats at this point. But there's two, it's the same thing every offseason, right? We're on the list, but we don't have enough. We never have enough to acquire the next big guy. And so this is something that me and Harry have been talking about for the entire season. You don't sell high on assets. You don't position yourself for the long run. You put your head down, you say Heat culture until you're blue in the face, and you go out in the first round or the second round, or maybe you go out in the Eastern Conference Finals, or maybe, a global pandemic happens and a bunch of things go your way and you make the finals and you lose in the finals. The end of the day is you haven't won a championship in 10 years. And so I understand you're not going to win a championship every year. I understand there are going to be competitive teams with all-time greats on them like LeBron, like Steph. But you can position yourself to a point where you can make yourself competitive in that, 5 or 6 team slot for the championship contention. And right now, the league is probably as competitive as it's been in a long time because we haven't seen these trio super teams anymore. You can say Giannis, Middleton, and Dru is a trio super team. Some might disagree, but the point is, there's no outright favorite like the LeBron era of when he was in his heyday, and there's no outright favorite like the KD Warriors. So by not positioning yourself to be in one of those 5 teams, you're failing.
So you said either way they couldn't get Dame, whether he demands here or not. But if that's the case, what does picking 14 or 20, what is the difference there? Is that the difference between not getting Jeremy Grant and getting Jeremy Grant, for example?
No, I think ultimately the difference between not picking 14, 20, even if you don't get Dame, is something like, again, preparing for a different move down the line. Trade that pick for an asset or draft, a quality lottery player that maybe turns in, it's not going to be Bam Adebayo, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker every time from that slot in the draft. Of course, you're never going to hit 100% on that, but maybe you get a late type of guy that can turn into something that gets you a first down the line when you eventually trade him to another team. You're trying to continually stack your best assets while they're available to you so you can position yourself to go all in when the time is right.
You got some thoughts, Royals brother? You wanted to hop in there for a second.
I do. My name is Brenton, by the way, and
I asked you what you want me to call you. You said Royals brother, but
Royals brother, so nobody gets it wrong.
Okay.
This question is to Shutman. Are you opposed to trading Jimmy Butler?
No, I've been probably the strongest proponent of trading Jimmy Butler on this network, ironically.
Are you opposed to trading Jimmy Butler?
Not at all, because you have no assets. The only way you can get to any sort of full rebuild is by trading him and starting over.
So you want a championship team? I'm a Bulls fan. My second team is Portland. Give me Jimmy Butler. I'll give you Dame.
What does that do for either team?
Listen, I'm giving you Dame and Cam Reddish, who nobody wants, but
including myself,
also think can be a star. So give me Jimmy Butler. We're gonna sit in mediocrity forever, and you get Dame, somebody that's gonna bring box office, all this kind of stuff to and he also probably can play in the pick and roll with Bam. Jimmy can't. Tyler obviously showing y'all that okay, I probably can, but I'm Tyler. So give me Jimmy. We're gonna sit in mediocrity for the next 5 years. And the Portland Trailblazers are fine with that. Give me Jimmy, you get Dame. How about that?
Both teams would sit in mediocrity to those over-the-hill stars retire.
Dame is Jimmy. Dame pushes the needle different with your team because you have Kyle Lowry as your point guard. Matter of fact, I'm lying. You have Gabe Vincent as your point guard right now. Am I wrong?
No, correct. Accurate.
Thankfully, not Kyle Lowry.
Huh? Exactly.
Thankfully, not Kyle Lowry.
So you have Gabe Vincent as your point guard. Oh, you go from Gabe to Dame. Is your team better than or not?
I think it's an interesting move. I think Dame and Bam as a duo would work better than Jimmy and Bam as a duo. But I do agree a little bit more with Ant, where I think you would have both teams still in the fringe playoff mediocrity level. I don't think Dame pushes this Heat team to if you trade Dame for Jimmy, I don't think that trade makes the Heat a top 4 or 5 team in the league.
Dame. Okay. So
what do you think of a Tyler Herro and Damian Lillard backcourt defensively? Well, let me ask you that, since you think this would be so positive for Miami.
I need Jimmy and Tyler, but you're getting Dame and a guy who has not proven himself in the league yet, Cam Reddish.
You're not gonna get me with that one unless by Cam Reddish you mean Anthony Simons or Shaedon Sharp.
Fuck him. Hey, listen.
No deal.
They'll fuck Cam.
It's all fun and games with Tyler Herro till you get DeLon Wright on him or anybody like him, and then he can't even get a shot up. Then you're gonna be wishing you ain't take Tyler on your team.
But I do have a question for you, Ant. Who's sponsoring the show?
Say what happened?
Who's sponsoring the show?
Who's sponsoring the show? Well, that you are so much better than Royal in so many ways, because I want to get right to Dan the Field Gents comment. Shout out for the $5 donor who said, "All right, Ant, this is something for you, bro. This team confusing me. It makes this complicated. But you know what's not complicated? The primary sponsor of this show, and I do not have the fancy graphic Justin does, but Simple Health Advisors. Yo, insurance doesn't have to be complicated. Make sure to give him a call. Tell them the basement sent you. Email our guy, jpew@simplehealthadvisors.com. And the number is covered, but I think I know it off the top of my head. 321-345-7738. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
That sounds good.
321-345-7738. I want to go ahead and shout out Royal for that one because he has that little jingle he does. 321-345-7738. I'm not going to lie, Royal.
Full blood brother. Me.
I fuck with that, man. I did like this comment by Young Cash Nova too, who said, if Spoelstra's the best coach, why has he never won a coach of the year in 10 plus years? Well, one reason, he obviously had superstar talent in the big 3 days. You're not going to win.
Probably.
That's the better answer. But also it was difficult in the big 3 years because you got superstars. And then the year they got 30-11, I thought he should have got some consideration. But of course, they missed the playoffs. You're not going to win Coach of the Year if you miss the playoffs. I actually think he did win that bogus Coach of the Year and that like players voted thing.
It don't matter.
5-6 years ago, but that don't count. But certainly he's robbed 100%.
Absolutely.
I do want to get to I think we talked about this game a little bit. I want to get to some of the guys in this game. For me, the guy who legitimately got me so frustrated more than he ever has in the first playing game, and that just continued today, was Bam Adebayo. They kept mentioning how on the broadcast that, he's got 8 points, but he's got 17 rebounds. First of all, too little, too late. Where was those 17 rebounds when Clint Capella was making you his son? Where were those rebounds back then? 17 rebounds is cute when you're going up against, they got Alex Caruso at the power forward. You better feast on them just like the bigger teams feast on us. And also 1 for 9 shooting from a guy who is taking all shots inside the paint is disgusting. And quite frankly, I think it's unacceptable. Royals brother, or Brunson, whatever you want me to call you, I want to get right to you on this. What's your thoughts on Bam just overall this season, specifically in the last couple of weeks after the All-Star break?
I've told my brother this since you guys signed Bam to that. Stop the shit with the switching, please, because it does not work. It does not work. Like, I get it, Bam. You can guard 1 through 5. Granted, I get it. Or try to guard 1 through 5. You can't guard no real 5. But I think tonight, Vucevic has always been, since he was in Orlando, has been a problem for Bam. And now he's on our team. Thank you, Vuce. But, he's always been a problem, but Bam is just not what you guys want him to be in Miami. Like, at the end of the day, he's good. He's fine. Fine. Like, if somebody asks me, what do you think about this player? Fine. Bam? No. Fuck no. You're an all-star. My God, it's play-in, playoff tournament time. Stop doing the shit that you normally do, bro. Like, at the end of the day, like, you have to do more to get your team to this level. Bam does not do that. Jimmy has to, Tyler can, and other players have to step up and be a big part of the small shit that y'all have to do in order for y'all to be good. And Bam does not deliver. Think about last year when y'all played the Celtics in Game 7. Remember Bam? Don't worry, I don't either. Nope. But I don't. But Bam, whenever it comes time for the Heat to accelerate themselves and become the Miami Heat that you guys want them to be, Bam does not show up. He does not play big. He does not play medium. Bam plays small all the time. And I think tonight, 1 for 9, man, listen, Bam, I appreciate the 17 rebounds. Great job. So the fuck what? I need 17 rebounds and 27 points. And you're not doing that? Yo, it hurts your team, bro. I'm a Bulls fan. But it hurts me to see my brother's team, Ant's team, Shelton's team get fucked over because you're not the offensive player you're supposed to be. I'll just leave it at that.
You bring up several excellent points. One of them has been my biggest gripe to Spo this year is that they continue to switch everything when you don't have a power forward, which means you end up having someone who's 6'4" on the other team's big man. And even if they miss, they 100% of the time get the offensive rebound. That's all fun and games last year when you got PJ Tucker, who can guard 1 through 4. So it allows you more switchability. So that's a great point by you. And then again, my frustration, just like you, comes from the 1 of 9 shooting tonight with only 8 points. Right. If other teams constantly attack our weaknesses on defense, they constantly attack Tyler Herro, they constantly attack Strus, Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry when he was starting, I wish the Heat would attack the other team's defensive liabilities too. Nikola Vucevic has been a habitual, god-awful defender for his entire career. There's no reason Bam Adebayo can't get 25 points in his sleep around Vucevic. So to see him not even be able to attack that guy is one of the most frustrating to me constantly. And he only took 9 shots. Bam Adebayo needs to take 15 to 20 shots a night. Alex, before we want to get to you, you got some pushback on that? What do you got?
No, I just want to say, Shelton, before you get to it, like, just, I don't want you to go in on Bam, but understand, like, as somebody that doesn't watch Heat games like that, but watches it from time to time and see that kind of stuff, like, how does it, as a Heat fan, like, make you guys feel?
I've been pretty lenient with Bam this year, just given the roster construction around him. I feel like Bam's best lane as a player for his career is going to be something like an 18 to 20 point per game player, and then being that defensive anchor that he can be night in and night out. I feel like they were asking the world from him this year. You're asking him to guard the paint because we don't have anyone else over 6'6" on the roster. You're asking him to come out and guard the wings and the guards because Tyler Herro, Kyle Lowry, and Gabe Vincent and Max Strus can't guard anyone to save their life. And then you're also asking him to go and put up 25 a game and be, your primary scorer on the offense. I think he was doing that up until the All-Star break. And eventually that caught up with him. And I do think they did. I said this back in December. I do think they flipped the entire offense on its head when the All-Star break rolled around. Jimmy Butler took the ball out of Bam Adebayo's hands. The only player of Bam, Jimmy, and Tyler whose scoring average went up since the All-Star break was Jimmy Butler. The other two went down. Their usage rates went down. Their touches per game went down. They took the ball out of the man running the offense for 60 games hands, and not a shocker, they don't know what to do. When you're doing something for 7 months straight and it flips on its head, things change. So ultimately, I've been a lot more lenient on Bam. I don't view him as a 25 point per game player. I don't view him as a first or second team all NBA player. I view him as a fringe third all NBA guy and an elite defensive talent. In a perfect world, he's going to be the third offensive option on your roster, and he's going to be the best defensive player on your roster. And he's going to consistently be in the defensive player of the year category and, provide what he can on the glass and on offense when he, has the option to.
Yeah, you bring up some good points. It is possible Heat fans as a whole are overvaluing Bam Adebayo and putting unrealistic expectations on him. But I think that's BS because he has shown us on many occasions that he is a very versatile offensive player when he wants to be. The whole first half of the season, his mid-range jump shot was silky smooth. He was getting to it whenever he wants. He could blow past anybody, finish left hand, finish right hand. When he wants to dunk right on their head. And the only reason I don't think that's continued after the All-Star break is because he's soft. That's what's got me frustrated. But I want to get into some more topics here. We got two more guests coming on here who have been doing a killing on the Random Scrub Heat podcast. Shout out to them. Make sure y'all check that out. They had a very great episode with Hoop Spaces just go up, and they've been on fire with the guests, whether it was Jeremy Taché, Brendan Tobin, Israel Gutierrez. The list goes on and on. If y'all are not checking out the Random Scrub Heat podcast, you really just missing out. They talk real basketball on there. So if y'all want some actual basketball takes from the basement, go check them out. But they have a good time over there too. First, I'm going to get to George over here. We're talking about Bam Adebayo. So I just want you to share your thoughts on him tonight. What do you got?
Donos, and get to him.
I didn't miss no donos.
You didn't?
Nah.
Oh, good.
Alex, did you see any donos I missed?
I don't know, but good reminder. Good reminder.
No. I've been starring them in the chat. I didn't miss any here. George,
we're gonna upgrade at the Royal position.
George,
yeah,
that's elite,
man. You know, hey, let me go ahead and
That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing.
Oh, you got it.
Perfect. Put it back. No,
put it back.
Listen, I have to be on my best behavior because my brother tell me to be on my best behavior. Listen, I cuss more than my brother. I yell more than my brother because Ant and Shelton have been so good to me.
First of all, I don't have to do what Royal says. Alex doesn't have to do what Royal says. You certainly don't have to do what Royal says. So do whatever the hell you feel like doing tonight.
Fuck Royal. So Royal, fuck you. And you.
God damn, ball.
It works out really well that you said that you promised Royal that you were gonna be on your best behavior because I promised Royal that I was gonna be on my worst behavior. So
don't do that. Please don't. Because call me after shit. Like Shep, you wasn't on your best behavior. So I'm on best behavior. I'm being nice and all that kind of shit. But listen, y'all still gotta say certain shit at the end of the night. So go ahead.
Listen, you're not afraid to speak your mind. That's all that we want. Shout out to our guy, Dan the Film Jet, who said, now here's a dono. Dan, we do appreciate that. Thank you for the $2 dono. I will go ahead and put up your arch nemesis for you, which is perfect fitting tonight. We got Dan the Film Jet. Consistency is key. What do you get when consistently missing in the key? That would be Bam the Fraudulent. George, we were talking about Bam, but you could go ahead and speak on him and just your overall thoughts on the game as a whole.
First things first, Ant. Burn that jersey. Burn that fucking jersey. Take it off.
Hey, I saw someone earlier.
I've seen
someone earlier in the chat said I would drop 20 in any rec league. They're right. I actually won this at Busch Gardens. There was a 3-point contest. You had to hit
I don't know where the fuck Busch Gardens is, but throw
you
it
had
back
to
in
hit
the
like
garden.
14 out of 15 threes because this is authentic. You had to hit like 14 out of 15. And damn straight, I hit 14 out of 15. I went right to the Michael Jordan jersey. I figured I showed some love to the legend.
I'm lying.
Hang on, wait. I actually have a really good story about that, Ant. I went to the Busch Gardens in Virginia, and it was the same exact 3-point shootout. And I was the guy ahead of me had one arm.
Jesus.
So and
this better than you.
This dude could shoot. He shot how many shots? I'm just gonna spell. It was like 15 shots he got. He hit 13, and I was next, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna get shown up by a dude with one arm, but I hit 14.
I would have turned around.
I hit 14. No, I laid my cojones on the table. I hit 14. Wow, I didn't want to show up a handicapped individual, but it's okay.
I was just gonna say that's a little inconsiderate. You to show.
It's kind of fucked up that I did that, but I had to show out.
Hey, listen, man, I respect it. I don't ever take no one light on the court. One of the things I hate the most is when we are playing against a female and guys go easy on her because then she gonna start talking all that shit. I'm gonna say, no, you on the court, we gonna play. So I don't never take no one lightly.
Dangerous territory.
I don't ever take no one lightly. That's all I'm
away.
George, listen. If I'm
gonna talk about Bam, can I talk about fucking Bam?
If I'm gonna take advice on,
let me talk about Bam. Goddammit,
you the last person I'm gonna take it from. George, tell me about this bum Bam.
I'm a better shooter than you. Okay. I've seen a lot of unnecessary slander on Bam's name tonight. Okay, a lot of unnecessary slander, and I'm going to go through why. Yes, offensively he was poor.
17 rebounds.
He was phenomenal. He is the reason Max Strus got 3 out of his first 4 threes going. Those screens were elite. And you can go back and check the tape because I checked them myself. They were elite. He does so much on a given night that 17 rebounds, 4 assists, a block and a steal just isn't enough anymore. I get it. 8 points, 1 of 9 shooting, not good. He has to improve. But what I've been seeing is disgusting. If like people trade him, he's done, he's finished. You know, he's not showing up. He did everything he could tonight. The shot was not falling. And it's reminiscent of the very first game of the season when when Bam was missing all those inside shots. I was looking at Royal.
Did you just confuse Royal and Bam?
I saw Royal's brother doing this, and I was reading Royal in my head. I'm like, wait, what's happening? What have I done wrong? Anyway, yeah, I think he played well enough tonight. I don't think he deserves all the slander. Jimmy played well. Max played phenomenal, which is going to earn him a contract that's going to piss me off. It's going to be like 3 years, $11 million a year. And
not with Miami.
Yes, it is. You watch. That is literally what's going to happen.
They're going to make the same exact mistake with their second upcoming white shooter.
Absolutely.
God help us.
I don't doubt it. I'm going to be on suicide.
I'm not saying I want that. I'm not saying I want him to get. I'm not saying I want that.
Let him spew, Shell.
I don't want them to pay him, but they're going to pay him. You watch. After that performance, they're going to pay him.
4 more games to go, George.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Let's see what happens. LJ, what's your thoughts on the game tonight?
Well, I'll piggyback off of what George said too. It was
say something real quick.
What's up?
I was like, yo, LJ, I like him.
I appreciate you. That's right. See, we got a couple nice people on here tonight. I like this, not you, George.
LJ is awesome, man. And I'm telling y'all, like, make sure you tune into the Random Scrub Heat Pod. Like, I'm telling y'all, like,
is that
legitimate? He's killing it over there. Like, it's a good pod. It's a good pod.
Podcast, whatever y'all call it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that shit, but I like you. So
thank you so much.
No problem.
I'll rendezvous the compliments to everybody and just say that I was the only one that got them.
I'm about to cut your man out after this.
Oh, I got you. It's okay. But no, so George, I have to push back on literally everything you said because I have given Bam a very long criticism leash, and it is so short now. I mean, he did okay, right? Well, that's just us. All right. Well, it is what it is. Bam's leash is so incredibly short because when you are in a do or die playoff game, okay, yeah, here we go. When you're in, no, I'm not going to do it. When you're in a do or die playoff game and only 3 players score over 10 points, and one of them is a white shooter who is now going to be a free agent that they're not going to match on, and he's going to cost them way too much. All the other option that you got was Tyler Herro that got you 12. Jimmy and Strus both got you 31. Jimmy was Jimmy. He made up for the Atlanta game. Doesn't really matter in my opinion because this was a game they needed to lose anyway. I would rather suck the Dalai Lama's tongue than watch 4 more games of this team. I am fed up with it. I've seen more than enough, and I don't know what I'm going to do with these next 4 games against Milwaukee because Bam, albeit, yeah, good on defense, it needs to be studied by every single Ivy League school about how this man fell off in the second half. I need Brown, I need Harvard, I need Yale, I need Princeton, I need every single Ivy League school to study this man's second half season and figure out what the fuck went wrong. I rather him, he took 1 or 2 threes all season. I would rather every single shot he takes for this 4-game series against Milwaukee to be a 3-pointer than a 2-foot hook shot or layup because he can't hit them. I would rather say, fuck it, let's see if he can maybe hit a 3. Because he can't hit a 2. I'm besides myself because albeit he did have a pretty good bounce back game on defense. I'll give him credit where credit is due. And he was gobbling up the boards except when Andre Drummond was out there because Clint Capella and Andre Drummond, if you're a completely washed big in 2023 with 0 fucking offensive game, you are going to give Bam work on glass. And it makes no sense. 0 sense. But it's the play-in tournament. It doesn't have to make sense.
Whoa.
LJ, that was perfectly said. George, if this is just a random night that Bam goes 1 for 9, I'm not getting mad at him. But when this has been a consistent thing over the last 2 months since the All-Star break, it's time to have a discussion about Bam. We all agreed after the first half of the season that Bam was one guy who took a jump this year. And I said, and all season I was hesitant to say that because I said, we've done this with Bam before in the past. He'll go and have 40 versus Brooklyn, then he'll have 10 the next night. So this year I said, I'm not going to let Bam fool me. But when we saw consistently every game for the first half of the season, I said, you know what? I've seen enough to say Bam is taking a jump as long as he doesn't completely fall off the face of the earth offensively in the second half of the year. And unfortunately, that's exactly what he did. And we're seeing now that the games are even more important, these last 2 games, he's had arguably 2 of his worst offensive games the whole season. And I think it's time we have a discussion about Bam Adebayo. I know there was a lot of talk about whether if we had to trade someone, whether you'd pick Bam or Tyler. I think that's a dumb argument, so I'm not going to get into it. I'm still trading the high-level role player over the best defender in the league. But still, I think everything LJ said, he said it beautifully. But that being said, I do want to transition into another guy who's terrible tonight. And we talked a little bit about him earlier. It's Tyler Herro. Bronson, what's your thoughts on this dude, Tyler, and why do you want him on Portland so bad? Chicago so bad.
Before I get to Tyler, I do have to go back to the Bam thing. He was saying, oh, Bam did this, that, and other. Yes, we're 40 and 42. Bam was pretty bad. So let's just leave it there. Like, he had a horrible game against a bad team. We suck. 40 and 42, just so you know. But Tyler Herro, he is the most... Jesus Christ. Like, Tyler Herro does nothing for your basketball team. Nothing. He can shoot 23 shots, make 12 of them, and it moves the needle for your team. Not at all. Like, he is the one player on your team that has absolutely nothing to do with winning or losing. Like, Tyler Herro does nothing for the Miami Heat. I would love him on my team. Like
he definitely loses games.
Don't say it like that. Like, hey, listen, I'm a fan from afar, so I see certain shit. But like meaningful games when he playing us, like Tyler could score 30, and it has nothing to do with the game. Like, seriously, when I watch certain shit, like the other night he played against Atlanta, I think he probably was one of the top leading scorers on your team. Moved the needle, not. It had nothing to do with Tyler Herro. Tyler Herro is one of those players that can give you 40 points, and it means absolutely jack shit. Being honest with you, it means jack shit. So he needs to learn how to do more than just put points on the board. Tyler Herro, yeah, fine. Whatever you do tonight, cool. But Tyler Herro needs to do more than just put the ball in the basket. He can't play defense. He has cement on his shoes. Tyler Herro is the worst. Sorry to say it like this, Ant. The worst white guy defensive player I've ever seen, besides Duncan Robinson. He plays no defense. He does absolutely nothing. And I just hate Tyler Herro. He sucks.
I mean, I challenge you to name a white guy that is good at defense. I mean,
Alex Caruso.
Alex Caruso.
Sure.
Thank you. He plays for my team. And that was the first name I was going to say. Alex Caruso. Lonzo Ball.
AK-47.
Okay, I'm very happy
for
Tyler.
But just being honest, that guy for your team, he does a lot of nothing. 20 points a game, all that kind of stuff. He could probably average 5, 6 assists, and it means jack shit to whatever Miami has going on. That's the issue right now with Miami. They have a Tyler Herro who does nothing to move the needle any way, good or bad, to do anything for your team. And honestly,
can I reinforce your point for a second? Can I give some reasoning why that is?
I'm not royal. I'll let you speak.
He plugs himself in. Herro's plugged himself into a role where he's so ball dominant, has to be on the ball to get his shot, wants to drive, wants to pull up, wants to do all this stuff, refuses to do his spot up shooter anymore. That when you plug yourself into that role, you have to be able to do other things. You have to be able to play make at a high level. He doesn't do that. He has to be able to defend at a competent level. He doesn't do that. He has to be able to knock down his shots at a consistent clip. He doesn't do that. If he was spotting up and being able to put up 20 points a game without having the ball in his hands as much, he'd be a way more effective player and be much more, would be looked at upon with more favor than he is now. But because he's such an on-ball threat, you look at the other players that play exactly like the way he wants to play. Devin Booker does the same thing, but Devin Booker gets 27 points a game, 28. He has 30, 40, 50-point games. Tyler Herro doesn't do that. He had 2 of them or 3 of them, and they were against the worst 3 teams in the entire league. That's it.
Well,
I heard before, I was on the way home. Sorry, very quickly. On the way home, I was listening to the show as well. You guys were talking about the Dame trade. Why not trade Jimmy for Dame? That's the most sideways move. If I would have to look towards packaging Herro, that's the only time you're going to upgrade this team and move the needle is if you turn Herro into someone with a more efficient clip into someone like Dame. But I agree with Sheltman. We don't have enough to do that at the moment. You're going to have to position yourself and do some magical roster crap by the Pat Riley special that we haven't seen in about 5 years to get that to work. But
you know what would help with that, George, right? For that package for Dame,
a higher pick
we just had wasn't 20 and it was 14 instead.
We
that doesn't move the needle. 14 and 20 isn't going to.
We discussed this a lot earlier. We could talk about this more after stream. I do want to bring up a great stat that Brunson might not be aware of, but it does a great job backing up his point. I don't know the current standing, but at some point in the middle of the season, the Heat were like 5-20 when Tyler Herro scored over 20 points. That just goes to show his scoring, which is he's supposed to be a scorer, does not have a direct impact on winning. I want to shout out Mark M for the $2 dono who says, imagine a 42-year-old Haslem with more threes than Bambi. I suppose that's a great point, but I'm one of the few guys on this network that don't believe in any Haslem slander. So I'm just going to move on. We'll get to one guy each and then predictions here so we could wrap up not that much longer, over an hour, 10 minutes. So, Alex, I know how you feel about Tyler. We talked about Bam. Tell me what you think about Jimmy. And he kind of had a really nice bounce back game tonight.
Yeah, Jimmy did the same thing that I've been bitching about all season. He comes out and tries to get other dudes involved. No, just go. Like, this is your season's on the line. Go get 12 in the first quarter. Go get, 30 in the first half. Be the impact player from the start and set the tone. That way, when you get to the second half, you're going to have double teams, triple teams coming at you. It's going to free open your shooters. Now, luckily for them, Max Strus was hot from the beginning, so that was already taken care of. But the biggest issue I think we've had this year has been Jimmy's passiveness. And, while he had a great game tonight, 11 of 24 from the field, he still, put up 31 points and was, I think he was the primary defender on Levine and DeRozan at times, which slowed them a little bit. So I would say, it was probably like a B+ game overall. But ultimately still frustrated with him. Like I need to see something different because getting the bums involved doesn't move me. Like you can't, like Max Strus is not going on a fucking heater every single game.
The bomb.
I don't need Max Strus shooting 8 threes in the first fucking quarter. Like, I want you shooting 8 shots in the first quarter. I don't want Max Strus shooting 8 shots because you are more likely to go off for 30 than Max Strus is for 30.
Typically, I agree with you, but I do think Jimmy does a decent enough job at knowing if guys don't have it, he will take over because Jimmy still did finish the first quarter with 9 points. And I know because I bet the first quarter over for Jimmy was 8 and he hit it. So I don't want to act like Jimmy was 100% like you're saying he is, although a lot of times I do agree with you. I want to get to a couple of these comments here. One from this guy who's someone in this stream starred. Kenan Allen said, "Fuck the Heat. I'm done with this BS network." Well, I'm done with you, Keenan Allen. You screwed me over in fantasy last year. How about you catch some more balls from Justin Herbert over there, Mr. Keenan Allen?
I'm sorry we're not going to blow smoke up your ass. We're going to tell you the legitimacies that this team should have probably lost tonight to secure a better future. You don't like to hear it. I'm sorry. That's the logistics.
Very, very well said. Also, to whichever one of you bums tweeted and has been released without pay. I haven't got paid in 6 months. My 360 deal, Royal is not holding up his end of the bargain.
That's not a mistake. That was not on purpose.
Yeah, you could have just said and's been released. The without pay part is redundant. Quickly here, I want to get to a couple of the bench guys. I'll start with LJ. Pick any bench guy you want to talk about, and what's your thoughts on them tonight?
I hate to do it, but I'm going to take the easy way out here, and it's Caleb Martin. I gave him smoke on the last show because he put up the playoff equivalent of the Tony Snell with 29 minutes, 0 points, no impact whatsoever, and only 5 rebounds. I think was the only way that he avoided the Snell was by hitting the 5 rebounds. Tonight, he was a plus 14. He gave really good energy. He did get cooked a little bit by DeRozan and then sometimes by Levine, but, I mean, he's an undrafted dude playing his heart out, and it's kind of hard to not get cooked by DeRozan in ISO or Levine in ISO. Levine's way faster than him. It's like they're going to cook much better defenders than him. So him to be able to at least frustrate them a little bit was nice to see. And he actually gave you 6 points and pretty meaningful timing of those buckets as well, if I'm not mistaken, that kind of halted a little bit of momentum. So Caleb Martin's my guy. I know Heather's going to love to hear that because I don't have much negative to say about Caleb tonight.
Yeah, I was a little shocked that once they decided to not start Kevin Love anymore, they went to Strus instead of Caleb because I think we all saw Caleb was probably better as a starter this year. But still, shout out to Strus. He had a good game today. But whether it's him or Caleb, they're still going to get out rebounded. George, go ahead and talk about someone tonight that hasn't been already discussed so far.
Who to pick? I'll pick Kevin Love. Why not? From what I saw, he played pretty well at the start and then kind of fell off at the end. A few further down the line. I don't know. When we spoke about bringing him onto the team, we discussed him being the starter. That's very much what people wanted. It's very much what people expected. He's not been that. But off the bench has looked quite a bit better. I feel like with the responsibility off his shoulders, he's able to perform at a higher level, a bit more consistently as well. I don't like the matchup between him and Bam. I just think the age difference is too much. I don't think Kevin Love has that drive in him anymore to really be physical and to get rebounds and do a whole bunch of stuff he was before. He's here to do one shot, and that's the shoot. That's it. This is like the first time ever he took a shot also off the dribble, like a pull up in like that wasn't a 3-pointer, and it went in. So I don't know. I feel like he can expand on that role and be a bit better in the Bucks series as well. Hopefully he can, I don't know, do something. But we need shit. We need shit off the bench, like instantly. Badly.
I don't think he'll be able to do anything. Like you said, he's kind of over the hill. Even at one point, the announcer said something that made me laugh. Kevin Love had some guard on him, whether it was Caruso or Kobe White. And they said Kevin Love with the mismatch here. Kevin Love doesn't have a mismatch on anybody. He sucks. I want to get to this donut, which is a great transition into our final topic here. This is from BB. Shout out to you for the $6 donut, who said, Royals brother, Brenton, by the way, not Brunson. I think I mistakenly said Brunson a few times. Brenton Shepard said, BB said, welcome to the show. And he said, what version of Bam are y'all expecting in this Bucks series? We're going to come to you last, Brenton, but we're going to go in a circle here because we're going to save the best for last.
Actually, no.
So we're gonna start with Alex here. You can go ahead and answer this question and just give your thoughts on the Bucks series as a whole. Pretty sure it'll be quick because I'm assuming we all agree for the most part.
Yeah, I'm going to expand that to what version of Bam am I expecting? Do not expect anything from anyone this series. Go in expecting 4 L's by double digits because that is the most likely scenario. It doesn't matter if Bam, Jimmy, or Tyler have shit games at all in these next 4 games. They are completely outclassed and outmatched as a team. There's nothing that this roster can do, barring Bucks players getting injured, for winning this series. Like, it's not going to happen. If it happens, unironically, if it happens, it will be the greatest upset in NBA history for an 8 versus 1. Like, I'm not exaggerating that. Every single statistic that is out there will not have the Heat coming anywhere close to winning this series.
Gentlemen, I want you to do me a favor. Remove this cracker from my show.
I would love to be proven wrong, of course. You know, if they win and then they win the next series and they somehow make this miraculous finals run or something, great. I win anyway. I'm a Heat fan. I want to see them win a trophy. But I'm also, as LJ said, I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up the audience's ass. This team just simply does not have enough this year to compete for a title. It is what it is. You know, let's look forward to what we can do this offseason to maybe position for next year. And if we get lucky, maybe we can compete for a title next year.
Yeah, first of all, stop lying to the people, Alex. We all agree that you do not want this team to win. You just want to be right. And also, that was not me who played the video because I do agree with you. You said if the Bucks get some injuries, the Heat can win the series. I think maybe they can win a game if Giannis gets hurt. George, I'm assuming that was you who played the video because you were shaking your head for some reason.
That was a George.
Stop it, George.
It was LJ. George, what do you disagree with anything that Alex said, though?
I don't disagree. I don't
You're
disagree with
shaking your
what
head?
Alex
No, okay, okay.
I don't disagree with what Alex is saying. I'm just upset that it's gone to this point that we have to do it like this. All right? I'm just upset it's at that point right now that we have to look at it like this. And look, we've been talking about it for 82 games. We're talking about it for a lot longer than that because even after the postseason was done, in that little downtime that we have between that and the regular season, we were talking about how bad it's got. It might get, how bad it might be. And you know it as well. I said we'd be the 6th seed. I said you lost the bet, by the way. Don't think I forgot about that. You lost the bet, buddy. That mustache is gone. That whole beard is gone.
I don't want to get into that now. We run out
anyway,
of time.
We'll talk about that later. I'm sitting here and I'm saying it's just gone to that point where it feels like that. But we're in the moment, we're in the now, we're in the playoffs. We're going to go against the Bucks, and I'm stealing something from our Random Scrub Heat podcast guest, Mr. Chris, who we had the other day, and I agree with him. We have a better shot against the Bucks than we did against the Celtics. That's the truth. I'm saying that 100% true.
LJ, you very clearly disagree with that, as do I. I'm assuming you think we're going to get our ass kicked next series.
Yeah. I also just wanted to push back on Alex a little bit, too, on the fact that he thinks it would be the biggest 1-8 upset. I still think that's the We Believe Warriors over the Mavericks. I still think that's probably the biggest 1-8. But it would definitely be number 2. And this team's been great at being number 2 all year. But I think honestly, if we're being honest with ourselves, George does have a slight point with it being that if it's the Bucks, who Bam has looked very good against in nearly all the games we played again this year, if you're looking for Bam to have any kind of bounce back, show any kind of competence or life on offense, it's going to be against the Bucks because he showed that he wasn't afraid of Brook anymore. He was going at him. He was taking those middies. Maybe he'll continue to attack in that same way. Maybe they'll fall. Maybe they won't. But it's definitely a better matchup for Bam, which is weird to say when you look at the historical context of it, of him always struggling against them, but sans this season. But overall, I do think that if you're looking for at least any kind of positive, I think Bam theoretically should have a pretty good series and lose in 5.
Should he? Yes. Do I believe he will? Do any of us believe he will? I'm going to guess not.
Yes.
Before we get to Brenton's, oh my God. Before we get to Brenton's prediction here, we got a couple more donos. Shout out to the nasty man, Darius Jordan. By the way, Darius, I do not think you're nasty. I think you're a man of taste. I'm a big fan of yours. Who said Heat in 5? He has the guts. No, he doesn't. He said 5 months. we'll have a better squad. That is, if Pat Riley wakes up, which is a big assumption you're making, Darius. And shout out to the Play the Video Justin, our producer, Justin Franklin, who said Royal is just, I probably shouldn't have said his last name. I don't want anyone to find that LinkedIn. He said Royal is just Suge Knight with access to the street yard. We're going to go ahead and move on. Brenton is laughing. I don't even know if he understands that reference. We could explain it later if not. But what's your thoughts going into this next series? Is there any scenario where the Heat win a single game?
Listen, my brother is my brother. So I'm about to fucking go in like my brother. He always asks you motherfuckers, LaBoy feeling good? Yes, I am. Fuck all the Heat. Fuck all you motherfuckers. Y'all beat us tonight. Go beat fucking Milwaukee. Y'all gonna beat them in 5. And then go to the second round, beat Philadelphia, whoever the fuck y'all play, in fucking 6. And then go to the fucking 3rd round and lose a fucking again like y'all did last year. Yes, Royal, I got your motherfucking back. Everything these motherfuckers wanted, they fucking got. Y'all won tonight just like my brother said. Y'all fucking would. Fuck the Miami Heat. Fuck y'all. Y'all gonna lose every fucking time. Guess what? Fuck the Miami Heat. And I hope you bitches lose again.
I would be doing a disservice if I even attempt to speak after that. Thank y'all for tuning in, and y'all have a good night.
Best drip here.
Thought he gonna be a star, but he's not that guy. No, he ain't. Thought the bubble boy set the bar, but that was a lie. Yep, Marcus Smartass. T-Rex arms cannot guard, and I know why.
Why, man?
Sing it with me, man. Cause he's a high, cause he's a high, cause he's a high level role player. Fast break, he pulling a 3, cause he's not shy. God,
Come on,
check it out. Could have had a layup that was free, so now I sigh. 3-on-1 fast break too. Cause he always gonna need a screen, and I know why.
Why, man?
I know why. Cause he's a high, cause he's a high, cause he's a high.
Good next one, good
level role player. Call him boy blunderer, even 1/4 wonder, cause he got 10 in the first, so I'll take the second half under assumption that he'll suck, not the random abrupt eruption. He often disrupts the offense and stops it from being functional. I get that he's combustible, that doesn't mean that he should be untouchable.
Why, man?
I'll tell you why. Cause he's a high, cause he's a high, cause he's a high level role player.
No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off.